What the hell. Let's try something a little different. Welcome back, race fans! It is the Spectraflame Wide Open, the show where the track is made of junk and the racing is still legit. I'm your host, Scoop, and we're going to do the final three groups tonight. Starting off with these guys right here. Sol-Aire CX-4, and that is an early 80s one on its Ultra Hots. And of course we have the 68 Cougar, fairly legendary casting in its own right if you're paying attention to various downhill racing channels. The heaviest ID car I think that you can possibly purchase right now, Hiway Hauler 3.0. And of course, the Datsun 510. A nice little square 50-gram heavyweight. It's actually heavier than just about everybody here except for good old Sol-Aire. So let's get this road show on the road. What do you say? So yeah, what do you think of that intro? Some good energy? I don't know. Maybe we'll keep it, maybe we won't. But you're here for a race. So we got Sol-Aire on the inside pole. You have the Cougar on the outside pole. You have that big thing, that big ass truck that hopes to make his way through traffic on the back. And of course, the slowest qualifier in this series of four guys right here on the back outside. That's not to say that he won't get his fair shake once he gets to the front. Let the fun begin. Let's get this. And they're off. Nice tight group. And then Sol-Aire breaks out. What's going on with those three? Sol-Aire's already gone. It's a late charge. Ow. Wow. What a hit. Group 4 round 2. And of course, Sol-Aire being the perceived smoke show of this group. But now he's in the back, which gives everyone a fair chance to catch up now. Cougar on the inside pole, 510 on the outside, and the big dog also shares the back with our points leader. Off we go. It's the Cougar, the truck making a huge charge, but getting blocked up in traffic once again. It's the Cougar with the win. Sol-Aire stealing second across the line in a beautiful late pass. What was that time? 9.5. Race 3's rotation comes around, and now Hiway Hauler has its time to shine. And it's hoping to bank on the fact that perhaps since it can't pass anyone, once it gets in the front, no one can pass it. He's being backed by the fire-breathing demon known as Sol-Aire CX-4. Cougar shares the back row with him, so it's point leaders in the back and those desperately needing points in the front. Let's go. Into the spiral, tight group, insane. And indeed, Hiway Hauler looking to take the win. What happened with the other two cars? We have Sol-Aire CX-4 with a DNF. Wonder what happened there. And where is the Cougar? We go searching along the track. In an extremely difficult spot to film. After all, it's under a table. The Cougar got kicked off at the edge of the track. Look at that. So 3 becomes a much more interesting race, just based on that finish alone. Now in perhaps the most insane twist of fate, we have a 3-way tie for first in points. And last in points is 2 points behind, well, everybody. Unfortunately from him, he's starting from the back row. The two faster cars are on the outside with a slight lane disadvantage. Will Hiway Hauler manage to maintain the lead to the front and block the hell out of everybody? It's all on the line here. Let's get it. Hiway hauler, Sol-Aire CX4. He does go for the block. Battling his ass off. He manages to keep it. The Cougar actually finishes last. What an insane, insane group of cars. Definitely one of the better groups that we've seen as far as shakeups. Sol-Aire CX4 was the favorite, definitely, of this group, and he continues to dominate, exhibiting excellent speed and control throughout the series. But Hiway hauler, battling like hell, and rightfully earning its place, especially away from this Cougar right here. Was not expecting that. I'm sure a lot of you weren't either. It's been a lot of fun filming this. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. Group 5 up on the gate. And let's stop for a second and admire these cars. Every single one of these cars are beautiful ID vehicles in the line, and all of them have a similar weight. I expect that this is going to be a lot of fun. So we have on the inside pole the number 5 qualifying seed, the German insanity, known as the Volkswagen T1 GTR, with its mid-mounted flat 12 if you pop that canopy off. On the outside pole, the 18 Camaro SS. In the back, we have the Corvette C7R, the lightest car in this entire competition, but right next to him, only 1/10 of a gram heavier, that beautiful, curvaceous Lamborghini Miura. We could stare at these all day, but I want to know who's fastest. I bet you do too. So off we go. It's the T1 GTR. The Camaro eats it and then gets turned around. The GTR taking off. And there's the Miura bringing up the rear. Group 5, round 2. Camaro SS on the pole, looking for a little bit of redemption after taking a part of the tunnel to the face in the first race. The Lamborghini Miura also looking to get some points up on the board after having a very languid pace and finishing dead last. The T1 GTR starts in the back and had a wild couple of turns and almost gave everything up on the final straight. And the Corvette also having a kind of slow pace, but only just faster than the Miura. Perhaps he can give him a small boost of speed as we go down the first straight. It's the Camaro coming out of the spiral. Big lead. The Miura takes a nice pass out of the T1 GTR. The Camaro gets slowed up. It's the Miura taking the win out of nowhere. The bus and the Corvette decides to take an off-track excursion. Slanman Customs move of the race, brought to you by Slanman Customs. Remember, when it comes to custom 3D printed track supplies, Slan is the man. Order yours today by searching Slanman Customs on Facebook. Now I understand that this move of the race is actually the entire last half of the race, but this was such an epic power play by the Lamborghini that the whole thing needs to be reviewed. So, here's the setup. The Camaro ID car has an excellent lead going into the spiral over the T1 GTR and everyone else in very tight tow right behind him. As they come out of the spiral, you notice that suddenly the Lamborghini sets up with a textbook play straight from NASCAR called the slingshot. He takes the air off of the rear end of the bus and then dips out to the outside and takes a huge charge of steam into that banked corner. Now the T1 GTR gives chase. Meanwhile, in the underpass, the Camaro gets crossed up and comes out slow. And watch these two set up to barrel by him. The Camaro goes to close the gap. The T1 GTR punches him in the ass and collects the Corvette in the process. Camaro regains his composure, and the Lamborghini goes from third to first in the span of just 4 seconds. What an excellent power play that was. I hope you guys really appreciated the slow-mo of that last race because there was a whole lot of shit that was just going on right there. The Miura, how about that? And now he starts on the pole. He went from 0 to hero real quick. In a second place tie for points with the Camaro that's backing him. And the T1 GTR, which is still in the back row, is the leader by 1. The Corvette desperately needing all the help that he can get. Let's go. And they're off. It's, wow! What on earth was that? Was it the Miura? It looks like it. It's the Corvette, the T1 GTR. What in the world happened to that Lamborghini? So, in review, students, anything can happen on the holo. Going from 0 to hero to astronaut in just 3 races. Now, the Lamborghini once again relegated to the back half in points. But this could be anybody's race to get into the top 2 spots because they're all separated by 4, and all it would take is the top guy to do something ridiculous like, oh, fly off track like a rocket ship. Who knows what's going to happen? But this is the last race to see it all. Here we go. Into the spiral. Nice, good group. Like a freight train, it's a T1 GTR. He's getting pushed by the Camaro. The Camaro falls off track. It's the Corvette in second. The Lambo finishes third. And what a shame. The Camaro just having poor luck everywhere it goes. I know I used the expression insane twist, but I can't think of a better one to use than what just happened here. The T1 GTR was a favorite. It's reportedly pretty good as an ID car, and it was the only casting that did not manage to have a DNF, the entire grouping. These guys, on the other hand, what a nutty turn of events. That poor Camaro getting screwed over I don't know how many times after launching the Miura into orbit, but he manages to make up all that ground just for it to be not enough quite at the end. So the Corvette moves on with just a little bit better consistency than everyone else. Maybe that's what matters. It has been a great night for racing. I don't think the fun's going to stop here. Group 6 is another batch of excellent cars. You have the Silent Killer, the Tesla Model S. You have the Fiat 500e, which is probably the best sleeper in the entire series. You have the Acura NSX. And finally, Rodger, hiding in the back, being all metal on metal, but for whatever reason, not terribly fast in this group. Perhaps redemption is in order. They're off. And another car, once again, off track. Insanity. It's the Tesla eating everything alive. The NSX goes in. I hear wheels spinning, but where is the car? Well, we have a Fiat 500e that landed in the chasm down below. And we have Rodger, which strangely derailed too. Okay, let's try this again. 2 DNFs on the front row, 2 supercars in the back. Let's go. Now we're cooking with gas, except for the fact that the Fiat stalled. It's Rodger all alone out there trying to make all the points he can. What a crawling pace. What on earth happened with all these guys? There's the Tesla. Race 1 winner. There's the Fiat on its side. And the NSX pulled off for a pit stop in the winner's circle, which, this isn't the way to get to it, Chief. Round 2 in the books, and it's the all-metal Hemi Hammer that manages to be the sole finisher, and perhaps only on fumes by looking at his trap speed. The other 3 cars, all goose-egged, right around the winner's circle. So as it would go, we have now 2 leaders for first, with 5 points apiece, and the NSX with 3 points. The Fiat still needs to get on the board in general, and this has not been a very kind race to him. Now he starts behind the slow car. It's into the spiral. It's the NSX. The Fiat falls off again. It's the NSX and Rodger Dodger. This time Rodger Dodger, looking to pull off the win, does not do it. What on earth is going on with that stupid Fiat? And there he is. This time, down in the, how's Jim call it? The soft racing surface at the floor? I forget what term he used. Final rotation of the group, and I don't really know what to make of all this. But, points leaders on the inside row, and our stragglers on the right. Supercars in the front, oddities in the back, including that terrible Fiat, which is just not having any luck whatsoever, probably because he's shaped like an egg. But lucky for him, or I should say lucky for everyone else, he starts in the back and on the outside. The Tesla looks to make up all ground possible at this point, and could possibly still end up in the final group. Let's go! This time everybody makes it through the spiral. It's the Tesla, the NSX. Coming down to the line, Tesla with a big burst of speed. Where did everyone else go? The Fiat gets crossed up sideways and collects Rodger Dodger with him. And there's the conclusion of your final seeded group. The supercars won this time. The Tesla was especially expected, but after a bunch of tough breaks, we weren't sure that he had it in him. The NSX, through more luck than anything, manages to win out and move on this time. The pizza delivery car, which is more like a flaming shit burrito on its own, the Fiat managed to do the most disappointing performance of probably any racing series I've ever concluded on this track here. And he ended up collecting Rodger Dodger. And what a shame, because after a lucky break, he started to come alive late. But it just didn't seem like he had enough to, well, push the egg out of his way. Next week on Poverty Hollow, semifinals kick into gear. And these are your groups. Take a look. Place your bets. Remember that only the top car advances forward. And tell me in this championship, aren't these the prettiest ones that you've ever seen? Look at that. Split an image. Sol-Aire CX-4 in the same group with both trucks. And the ID cars in the final group here, looking to make their stand against all the heavyweights. This has been a production of Poverty Hollow Adult Diecast Racing. We hope you've enjoyed your stay, and we'll see you again shortly.